Welcome back, everyone. This is Greenfire. Now, I've gone up through Tier 5 on the Japanese tank line that just came out now, and a lot of people think they're pretty bad. Well, for light tanks and things like that, they can get penned pretty easily, but my favorite so far, I think, has to be this one right here. This is the Tier 3 Type 98 Key. It's on the light tank line, and it's fairly fast, mobile, and small. Presents a small target for the tier. The gun is pretty good. I like to compare it to the gun that's on the Tetrarch. Fires 26 rounds a minute, pens 58 millimeters, and does 50 damage. If we take a look at the gun that's on the Tetrarch, it pens 64, so slightly better, does only 45 damage, 21 rounds per minute, and 0.4 accuracy. So the gun that's on this tier 3 is more accurate, shoots faster, maybe slightly less penetration, but does pretty good damage. And I only played, I think, like 10 games in this tank before I was able to move on. And so I don't really know everything about this tank, but one of the things that you do not see in World of Tanks is the gun depression. They don't list the gun depression anywhere, I don't think. But this tank has extremely good gun depression. I don't know about people that have played the American tank line, but I went down the Russian tank line, and those tanks have no gun depression. So coming to a tank like this was very fun. I was able to surprise enemies and come over hills at places they do not expect. As a warning for people, tanks in the Japanese tank line have no armor, they're fast, some of them don't have good gun depression, sometimes their guns are not that good, so I'd suggest you go down another tank line first. If you're really dedicated, then sure, you can go down the Japanese tank line. But, just to show you guys, this is one of my favorite tanks I've played so far for the Japanese. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of my replays. So, here's the first battle I got. This is on Erlenberg. Again, this is in my Kini, the tier 3. So this is a tier 5 game. Sometimes you'll see that in these low tier light tanks. The tier 4 I got like tier 6 games, that was awful. Taking a look at XVM, we see that there's nobody that stands out too much, showing that we're going to win. Pretty much on Erlenberg, I like to head to the north on this side of the map. Especially if I got like a light tank like this, I don't want to get out in the open or anything like that. And so you can see, I'm up to 45 kilometers per hour. You can see my gun depression there. Seems mobile. The armor is sloped, but I don't think that'll save you in any situation, unless maybe you're with like a tier 2 or something like that. So first thing I did, just to take a look at the gun depression, is I'm just peeking over this hill. And I got camo net and binocs, I'm going to see if I can spot anybody. But you can see how good the gun depression is. I don't know how much of my tank is actually exposed, but it looks like very little of the turret actually is. And that's what I loved about this tank, is I can just find these spots where the enemy does not expect me to be and show very little of my tank, and then with high rates of fire I can shoot off a few rounds. I don't know if that was me that spotted the T-28. I don't think it was. So now we're finally getting one heavy tank, a few other mediums on this side of the map. So that T-28 went ahead and came around, so I got a shot into him there. You can see my reload is very fast. Now we see that they got 2 more tank destroyers around up the corner. Tier 4 and Tier 5, I don't want to get in the way of their guns, but with all the bushes over here, I'm going to see if I can try and make something happen. So first thing, I'm coming over the top of the hill here, and I can just see the Martyr 38 there. There's one shot, there's another one. I can see the Hetzer, but I can't pen him. That ends up being a big problem, I think, in the tier 3 and tier 4 light tanks on this line, is you end up with guns and you can't pen the tier 4s, 5s, and 6s that you face. So I see this T1 heavy, I want my team to shoot him. He's running right across the open area, and he's going to flank us all. So the safest spot, I think, is away from the T1 heavy. So I'm going to back up, and I'm going to try and get near my guys, head towards the weakest enemies, I think. So now once again, I'm staying on this high side of the hill. Now T1 heavy has come fully around, and hopefully my KB1 will spot him here soon. See, the rate of fire on this gun is incredible. I compare it to the T28's gun, which I like a lot. Got in, I believe, 3 shots there. I pretty much just ignored the T1 behind me. If I was going to die, I was at least going to get some shots in. My KB1 actually finishes him off. So, our team is losing. But so far, I have not been hit. And that martyr hits me, but I'll go ahead and finish him off. So 2 shots really quick there. I can pen people. Now the Hetzer, he could finish me off. So I'm just going crazy backup mode here. I'll get someone else, get the KB1 to face them. So now that I'm survived, which is my primary goal, I can reposition myself and get some shots in. That Hetzer decides to charge the KB and dies by ramming. And I hit the Wolverine on the move. So you can see, just by using the gun depression, I was able to manipulate that corner and really face tanks that were 2 tiers higher than me, as long as I had enough support. Okay, now for this game. This game, I think, is actually the first game that I played in the Kini. Like, yeah, XVM shows we're gonna win, but you know how teams can be sometimes. Lots of low tier, looks like some new players as well. I'm feeling pretty good about this game. I like the rate of fire on this gun. And if we compare to last game, now we're facing tier 3s, so I should be able to pen everybody. I think I might have problems with the T18. Definitely I'll have problems. But as far as getting around flanks and shooting tanks in the front, I think I'll be able to pen everybody pretty well. Right here at the first, I want to try out the gun depression, and I also want to stay in the back and snipe. It's my favorite thing to do in Japanese tanks. So I'm going to head over to these hills, and I'm going to pick some hills and see how they are for my gun depression. One thing with these hills, if you get to the side of some of them, if you have bad gun depression, sometimes you have to expose your whole tank. As you can see here, with the gun depression, I can expose very little of my tank. And I can also shoot from a spot that the enemy would not normally expect me to be from. The only problem right now is we have nobody scouting for us up on the hill. Me and this T18 are waiting for some people to show up. But as a light tank, I'm not going to feel pressured into going to do that. So I'm just going to sit here and wait, because I know that enemies are going to come this way. We've already lost 2 tanks. 2 top tier tanks. I have no idea what they were doing. But there's a tank that I can shoot at. There, I get a hit him there. And there's some enemies that are showing up. I back up there just to save myself if I had been spotted. And I finish off the VAE. Now, they're doing pretty good in the middle, the enemy is. I don't want to move positions just yet. Let me see if I can take some shots on this M2 medium through the tracks. He dies. So we're losing by a little bit. Still shows we're gonna win. We still have good guys left. I'm still alive. And there's those tanks on the hill. Oh, crazy hill shot. But now I can just start shooting these guys all over the place. Kill that one. T-18, as you saw, is orange damage penetration indicator. I'm gonna go ahead and spray a few more shots up there. The T-18 has moved up. There's a tank I can pen. So, seems like our team is dying, but so far the 3 or 4 tanks have come and met the T-18 and me on this side. We have taken care of very well. So I decided it's probably about time to move. We're starting to cap. Now 2 more tanks have appeared. I'm not in the position that I'd like to be anymore. But I have camo net and binocs, so I'll try and sit in these bushes. Get my gun depression working for me once again. Now, you're probably thinking it's about time I should get moving. I probably should. Just try and make sure that nobody else is coming from other directions. There's that M2 light out in the middle. I really do like this position, so there's no need to give up a position and then all of a sudden be out of position for enemies to attack you. And I'm going to slide around. I like the speed on this tank. Get up to, I think I got up to 60 there, going downhill. So now somebody has started capping, and I get to try out my amazing gun depression on the railroad tracks. Now, our team is sort of out of position to defend the base, but we got a SPG, we have a T2 medium and a T82 out there in the field as well. So I'm just gonna peek over here and see if I can get my camo net and binocs to work. Now they're up. I have a whole minute, so I can wait around, wait for my guys to get in position. And there's the T-70. Now I can pen him in the side. There you see 2 quick shots into him. But his front is going to be a little bit more difficult. Okay, I got a lower glacis plate. A bounce. He's trying to shoot me, but he's on the move. He can't hit me at all. And I cannot pen him. Maybe I could be throwing HEs right now. But I'm going to go ahead and try this. And I don't know what he's doing. He's going to go ahead and do something else. But now I tracked him to the side. And I can just finish him off. And more tanks. So as you can see right there, I was able to use the railroad tracks, again using the amazing gun depression and the rate of fire on this tank. As long as I have a weakly armored opponent, then it's just fine. If that T-70 had maybe like rushed me, it could have been difficult, but I've been able to survive with full health, so that's an amazing help. So this is the Type 98 Tier 3 light tank, Kini. Compared to the other light tanks of the Japanese tank line, I like this one the best. I'm not saying it's the best Tier 3 at all. I'm saying that for the gun depression, the gun and everything that it has, it was an amazing tank to play. If you're a fan of light tanks, you don't need tanks with armor, you like fast firing guns and maybe a little bit of gun depression, I'd seriously recommend this tank. Again, it was amazing fun to play the short time that I played it. I think I had an 88% win rate over about 10 games. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Continue watching for more Japanese videos. I'll have some more up soon.